Happy. Okay, this meeting is being recorded.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. Happy holidays. Thanks so much for joining us. It's our December chapter meeting and our last chapter meeting of the year. So, of course, we see a lot of familiar faces, but we would ask if you'd like to share in the chat your name, your pronouns, your borough, and your favorite winter activity. Next slide, please, Jen. Great. So, a little bit about our mission just to orient ourselves tonight. So, we mobilize New Yorkers toward a just transition to end the era of fossil fuels. Who we are is the first and largest chapter with about 1,600 members across the five boroughs, 800 of whom attended a climate reality training. And what we do is we're volunteer run, and our plans and priorities depend on member participation. So it's why we're excited to see all of you here tonight. And that's why we're coming together to reflect on the year and envision how we want to support each other and our mission in 2026. Next slide, Jen. So, QR codes. If you have never seen this before, there's going to be a lot of information for you here, everything that you need to know about our chapter. And you'll kind of see if you want to even take a screenshot of this, this might be helpful. You'll see a whole bunch of links. And then something that we would love for you all to do is have there's a petition there for Governor Hochul to sign the 100-foot rule repeal. So that's a great action that you can do during this meeting or right after. But there's also a lot of other links so you can see where we're up to and get involved and participate. Next slide, Jen. Okay, great. So I'm going to pass it to Deepa so she can talk all about Electrify NYC.
Thanks, Faith. Hi, everyone. I'm Deepa. I'm the co-lead of the Electrify NYC team with Paul. And our mission is to help New Yorkers electrify their home and transport, increase home energy efficiency, and to source renewable electricity. And the reason why this is our mission is that buildings, transport, and electricity generation account for 74% of New York State's climate pollution. And actually, here in New York City, buildings alone account for about 2/3 of our climate pollution. So, electrification improves the health and comfort of New Yorkers and supports the growth of the clean economy. Next slide, please. So, our current strategy focuses efforts in two directions. So, first, we create resources and engage in outreach to assist single-family homeowners and renters, co-op, and condo owners to electrify their homes and transport and source renewable electricity. The second part of our strategy focuses on large residential buildings and helping them comply with Local Law 97, with a particular focus on J51 eligible co-ops and condos, which are low and moderate income co-ops and condos. Next slide, please. So some of our past efforts are listed here. We have done some tabling, talking to community members about electrification. So we've done tabling at a food scrap drop-off site in Queens a couple of times. We also tabled at the Union Square Green Market. And we've also done some presentations on the various electrification incentives and all the different electric technologies. We've presented virtually a couple of times, as well as in person at a church in the West Village. We also had held office hours. So one of our group members has quite a bit of expertise on building decarbonization and Local Law 97. So we would have virtual meetings with chapter members who live in buildings that are subject to Local Law 97 to try to get them some help and put them in the right direction with regards to Local Law 97 compliance. And then we also tried to help Sorry. We also tried to help city council members help their constituents comply with local law 97. So by providing them with information on the various incentives and programs to help with local law 97, writing blurbs for their constituent newsletters, and helping to connect them with um, or provide them with information on the J51 eligible buildings in their districts. Next slide. And now our current projects that we're working on are listed here. We actually just started with electrification stories. So if you had a chance to look at our December chapter newsletter, you'll see a great story from our group member, Kevin Davis, on his induction stove. So there's a great story in the newsletter as well as an associated video. And I actually am going to drop a link to the YouTube video in the chat for you. So you can check that out when you have some time. Highly recommend it. Um, and then we are also working on a one pager on electrification incentives. So this is sort of an abbreviated version of the slides that we had presented previously, so that we have an easily shareable resource with all the electrification incentives, as well as links to some videos so people can learn about the various electric technologies. And then finally, we're working on a guide for apartment dwellers. Oftentimes, apartment dwellers don't have the same level of agency with regards to electrifying their homes. So we are trying to come up with a short list of easy things that apartment dwellers can do to source renewable electricity, clean electricity, electrify their homes, and improve their indoor air quality. Next slide, please. So if any of this sounds good to you, if you're interested in learning more about our group, we meet virtually every other Monday at 7 p.m. And if you'd like to be added to the group, you can use the join one of our working groups form that's in the link tree. And also, I will post the Zoom link in the chat for our next meeting, which is on Monday, January 12th at 7 p.m. And we would love to see you there. I'm going to now pass it over to Paul.
Thanks, Deepa. Thanks so much. So as you can tell, what we're trying to do here is just give you a taste of the three working groups that we've got in the chapter to see if you want to get involved and help, change or get participate what we're doing and change what we're doing in those working groups. So that's the idea. And we also have climate change makers here. This which is the new organization that we're working with very closely. And so that'll be the fourth, not working group, but fourth organization, let's say, that will be presenting. So that's our little, this is kind of like pitches for people to get involved in these things if you find that you enjoy it. So in terms of the advocacy working group, we started back when President Biden got elected because we got excited and we were going to advocate for this Build Back Better Act and the lobby for the climate part of that. So when that passed, we got really excited and we got, let's say, addicted to lobbying. And we went on and started doing state lobbying and local lobbying. So that was the kind of the genesis of our organization, our group. And the group kind of works a little different than other organizations in that what we try to do is we try to stay very fact-based and build relationships with the legislators to pass legislation. So, we're not doing a lot of protesting and things like that, although our members do go to those things. We're more like trying to build the relationships to get stuff passed. Um, and then what we also do is we look where we can get the most impact, whether it's at the state or the federal or the local level, and that's where we'll focus. We also look at the legislation to see what has a decent chance of passing and has a big impact, and we'll focus on that stuff. So we kind of try to get our energy in places where we'll have impact. Um, okay, Jen, could you, the next slide, please? And so we had like I said, the Inflation Reduction Act. We met with all 13 New York City U.S. representatives and both of our senators. Some of these people several times, in passing and helping to get that passed. We then went on to work on the All Electric Building Act, and then this last year we spent a lot of time at the city level because there was a big threat to Local Law 97 called Intro 772. So Local Law 97 is the decarbonization law for large buildings in New York City. It's very important law. It's like the groundbreaking, worldwide law. So we really need to make sure that we get that, protect that. So we defeated, along with some other organizations, we actually lobbied about a quarter of our council members, and we defeated that. So next slide, please. So that was kind of the work that we've done. Um, can you go to the next slide, Jen? Thank you. And the way we kind of work is we set up some priorities and some priority legislation, as I mentioned earlier, and we lobby, specifically behind that. So, and the way that looks is like a small group of the total team kind of gets together, and everyone's welcome, but whoever wants to helps make this presentation that we're going to use for our legislators, and then we prioritize our efforts. Who we're going to go and look to meet with, and then we organize the outreach both to the legislators but also to constituents in district. So some of you on this call, I know I've called you, Malia. I know I've asked you once, and you were very kind to join us as a constituent and help us get the meeting, and so that's how that works. So there's like a small core group that like does this intense work to get ready and like coach people on how to do it. And then there's a lot of other people who join the effort to make the contact with their local legislators. So that's kind of what we do with the priority legislation. That's usually one or two things a year. It's not you can't put that much energy into a lot of things. We sometimes testify at public hearings, and we always work with coalitions. We only prioritize stuff with coalitions. It's the only way that'll work. But for other legislation, we still, we don't ignore other things. We do letter writing, letters to the editor, and phone banking and things like that. And our meetings, they're also every 2 weeks, starting from January. And they start with an action sprint of about 2 to 3 quick actions where you can, send an email or to your legislator or call the governor and leave a message on her machine and things like that. Um, and then we get into the organization of our efforts in the second half hour. And I just want to highlight that experience is not necessary. None of us were trained lobbyists, and none of us have ever been paid to lobby. So it's just we can help you get the skills that you need, and it's surprisingly addictive. Seeing the power that you have as an individual with your legislators. So, but please don't worry. That I don't know how to do this. No, everyone can do it. And no one does all of these activities. We share them. We do what we can, and it's a volunteer organization. So people do what they want and enjoy doing, and it works. Okay, next slide, please, Jen. And this is a quick question. Do you know who represents you? So if you do this QR code, you'll see who represents you. And I don't want to do it now because we don't have a lot of time. So, but if you want to, just take a picture of that or do it later, you can see who your representatives are because it's pretty fun in case you didn't know it. And this gives you your city, state, and federal representatives. Okay, Jen, next slide, please. Which I think is actually, yeah, is our 2026 target. We're starting to talk about what we want to do for 2026. And so some of the ideas that are coming out are helping extend this J51, which is basically a tax break to help buildings comply for local law 97, and gas-free NYC, which would extend that local law 97 to smaller buildings. So the scope would move from buildings that are, 25,000 square feet and above to some, single family homes. So that's what we're thinking about. At the state level, we're thinking about this accelerate solar for affordable power, which would expand distributed solar, community solar, things like that, which has been very successful. The Bucks for Boilers program. You don't need to know these things, but these are just kind of some of the things to give you a sense of what we're looking at. At the federal level, we don't see that we're going to support any legislation because there is actually no legislation happening at the federal level. But there's a lot of administrative action being taken that we do try to oppose. Um, and I think that's it for me. I just on the next page we have the same chart that Deepa had, which is if you want to join, please join us. We meet every 2 weeks um, on Mondays at 6:30. So if you're interested in joining, please just drop in your email in the chat or scan this and in our link tree, there's a page where it says, how to sign up. Okay. Yep, that's it. So
Great.
I'm going to pass it on to Paula.
Great. So I have a little bit more slides than them, so I'm going to just manage my own. Thank you for sharing, team, with everyone a little bit of what we're about. And I'm going to introduce the Stewardship Impact Collective. I started this enthusiastically because I love stewardship, and I kind of wanted to take advantage of this point that we're being encouraged to initiate something on our own. And when I expressed wanting to do this, I had another member, Cynthia Barca, who also shared this enthusiasm. So we started this together, and we did some great events. And unfortunately, her commitment and time has changed. So I hope to see her in the future in some events, but just not in leadership. And I'm just going to be sharing a little bit of what we have accomplished. And I wanted to set the tone for some food for thought really quickly. David Attenborough is one of my favorite, natural documentaries narrator, and he noted that no one will protect what they don't care about, and no one will care about what they have never experienced. And I agree. So over the years, because I've loved restoration and this work, I try to create different opportunities. So it's pretty simple. Creating consciousness and then inspiring a direct action opportunity. And those opportunities look like in-person mixers where we just schmooze and get to know each other, stewardship opportunities where we get our hands a little bit more dirty, planting something, restoring something, community outings. There's a lot going on in New York, so let's do some of that together, right? Zoom series, just to take it to like a virtual realm, and also to cover some of the colder winter months to bridge geography. Climate programming, sometimes we may not be schmoozing and or planting something, but maybe playing a climate game or doing some nature illustration. So just creating more programming, and then hopefully again inspiring you guys to do your own activities. So I just want to give you a quick little glimpse of some of what we've done. Our first mixer was in Pier 57, which many of us are accustomed to. Again, also trying to find areas that really highlight the beauty of New York and just kind of show the integration of nature and development. And we had a nice group there. We played some games. We gave little succulent candles to honor the spring. We had my mom's famous cookies. So it was just a great time in a beautiful space. We also went to Union Square for Earth Day, and we got to meet a lot of locals. That was a lot of fun. We created a little bingo game to just inspire maybe less innate social people, to kind of prompt them, either get a business card or learn about composting. So we're going to try to do more of that, creating tools. These are some pictures and some nature journaling that we hope to get into maybe next year. We also like to cross-pollinate, and my hope is that we continue to bridge organizations that are doing somewhat similar work. The New York State Marine Education Association and the Billion Oyster Project and Climate Reality, we did a little summer social upon the Baylander, which is a historic naval ship, and very cool backdrop, great food, great music. It was just a really great time. They have some oyster cages there already. So we had some ambassadors there, and we showed them why oysters are important. And then there was a little presentation from Nismia, and we really tried to merge worlds and kind of nerd out on these things that I think we all like to talk about. The Zoom series, pretty much two focuses: to hear and learn from experts and practitioners, and then to create spaces just for our own community discourse. We've done two. So one of them, I led it a little bit differently than the second. It was just more conversational with Tanasia Swift, Abby Jordan, and Kimberly Koch, who are incredible water women, urban environmental leaders, and scuba divers, climate educators, hydrogeologists, and really try to unpack how they've gotten to where they are. The second Zoom, which was last week, was with Michelle Wagner and Kenton Archer that work with the Idlewild Center. They also run Jane Goodall's Roots and Shoots programs here in New York. And they have really interesting career paths on their own as well. So, and also with Michelle and Kenton, they're younger people. They actually had never done this. So I'm excited that I can provide and extend a platform to them. They take their studies and their work serious. So why not also give them this platform? these are just some screenshots to show some of the people in the room. I mean, we had really talented ears in the audience as well, and that's what I hope to do to amplify and put ears on this great work. So as far as like how regularly we meet, I don't have it where it's like, once every 2 weeks or once a month. The whole idea of stewardship, I don't want it to be pressurized. It took us a little bit, it was a slower activation, and we were totally fine with that. And I hope to grow a regular community that is just as enthusiastic about stewardship. So maybe as we grow that, we will have more firm frequency. My goal is to have maybe once a month at least, something, whether it's in person or virtual, but your input would be really helpful. So if you reach out to me and maybe this inspires something that you'd like to do more or that you're not seeing, I definitely welcome suggestions. And just the last thing to keep in mind is we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. And we cover a lot in climate reality, a lot around policy, and there are different scales of impact, micro and macro. And I think that when we do these direct actions, there's a real gratification and a tangible, like something tangible that we were a part of as a community. So I welcome you to join us, and thanks for your time.
Super. And I think Rebecca is next. So, and Jen, you're taking back over the that was great. That was really great, Paula. So, Rebecca, are you capable? Are you ready? Are you able to unmute yourself and everything? Oh,
Yep. This has to unmute. Okay.
Perfect.
Can everyone hear me?
yes.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, just wasn't letting me unmute myself. Hi everyone. Thank you so much for having me, and my co-lead Bianca is here. We are co-leaders of the Climate Change Makers Manhattan chapter, and we're excited to be here and thinking about how we're going to partner with the Climate Reality Project a little bit more closely. For context, for those of you who don't know, Climate Change Makers is a nonpartisan civic action organization. We're nationwide, and we focus on taking political action together for 1 hour a week. In Manhattan, we meet bi-weekly for like 90 minutes, 30 minutes to socialize, 1 hour to take action. And these actions are on a variety of climate policy topics, and they range from calling our representatives to writing letters to the editor to organizing constituent meetings. So it's a good combination of all the things you all are working on your different teams. Um, and it was very nice to have Paul and Jimmy at our meeting yesterday. So thank you all for coming down. We meet at Pier 57, which I heard from um, some of you you've already been to for Climate Reality Project. So yeah, it's a great time. We like to hang out, get to know each other, and get to know people who are interested in climate who live in our communities. Bianca is going to put a couple of links in the chat. One is to the General Climate Change Makers newsletter if you want to keep up to date about what we're working on. We usually work in chunks of about 5 to 8 weeks where we'll focus on one specific policy topic. So right now we're tackling food waste. We're trying to reduce the amount of food waste that ends up in landfills to help reduce methane emissions. As we know, that's a big contributor to climate change. We've done electrification, we've done building transmission lines along highways, um, capitalizing on the IRA tax credit. So it kind of runs the gamut. We also take more local actions in New York City. So we've done a lot of get out the vote work for the mayoral election. We've done some work on the NESE pipeline, on Local Law 97. So we also do things that are pretty relevant to us and not super focused on the national scale. So we'd love to have anyone who's interested join us. I think Bianca also put in the chat our calendar of events. So you can subscribe to that to get notified about when we're meeting. As I said, we meet bi-weekly, so once every other week. Right now we're meeting at Pier 57 on Tuesdays, but stay tuned for what that will look like in the new year. Bianca, anything I missed? No? Okay. She can't unmute, but if anyone has questions, um, feel free to let me or
Oh,
Bianca know. We'd be happy to answer.
sorry about the muting.
Oh, no worries. And thank
Apologies.
you so much, Paul, for having us. We're glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you for coming on such short notice. And it's great having you guys as a part of the family because it's in person. You're dealing with you're meeting a person, and it's so many people are looking for that. And there's like the tangible nature of all the actions that you're doing are just so exciting. And then the resources that your mothership provides for you for all of this are just outstanding. So it makes it real easy. So yeah, thanks for coming. And I think now we're going back to Jen, or we're going to Jen, right? And I want to just tell everyone that I thank both Jen and Paula. They are operating on zero sleep. They both are in the depths of flu. And so they just got up for this presentation and probably will go back to sleep afterwards. So I really want to thank both of you for, making the effort despite your illness.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, um, slowly getting better, but weathering a pretty nasty flu. So stay safe out there. Mask. Um, Wash your hands. Um, I'm Jen Rand, and so grateful to all of you for being here. And as we mentioned earlier, if you want to join any of our teams, you can use this QR code on your screen to sign up, and we will be sending out invites to the meetings. Another way to join our meetings is by joining our newsletter, which all of you should be on. But you can find that at our link tree, which I'll share again later. That's a good way to find out when our working group meetings are happening, and we'll be sharing the Zoom links, I think, in the newsletter going forward. So it's easy to pop in. And yeah, that's another thing that's great about our working groups is there are some people who are able to make it every time, but you can also just drop by when you can and help out with what you can. So, um, yeah. So, we approach solstice this weekend. We're wrapping up there, and to me, winter is not a time to, start new things or grow new life, especially in the Northern Hemisphere. It's a time to rest and reflect and recalibrate. And as Faith mentioned earlier, we're a volunteer-run chapter, so all of the things we do depend on member participation. So we wanted to spend some time today just for a few minutes about what we want to do together next year and just thinking about that a little bit. And we'll be reaching back out again early next year for another opportunity for you to let us know what you're interested in seeing the chapter do together next year. But I thought we could just take a few minutes to jot down what types of meetings you are most interested in seeing next year. And I'll be putting up Zoom polls in a Zoom poll in a few minutes um, for you to write down your answers. But I just thought you could take a moment to think about why you're drawn to climate reality, this group in particular, and what's made it easy for you to join in with us, and what's maybe made it challenging, because we really want to make sure that we are doing everything we can to engage with you all and put on programming that you are interested in and making sure we're communicating with you in the best way possible. We've had some hiccups recently with our newsletter platform, so I think some folks didn't get the newsletter for a few months, but we're working through it. And yeah, um, I was in a place of music, but didn't get that together in time for the meeting. Sorry. Um, so I think I will just move on and we can fill in our answers and maybe I could put on a song. Okay. Do folks see the poll?
Yes.
Sweet. So some of the types of meetings we've done in the past are panel discussions. We've had some in-person mixers, but we're also trying to add in things like the leadership team, in-person volunteering. We also, we were founded as an education organization, so education sessions. So please just let us know which sessions you're most, which types of meetings you're most interested in seeing.
Jen, I see
Yeah,
that only one person has like put in answers, so I think just want to make just put it out there that it'd be great if you could, put your answers into these questions in the poll to give us some feedback. Oh, there we go. Now they're starting to come in. Okay, good.
it's all.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, and it might just be taking folks a few minutes if they're adding their short answers to the questions about what's made it easy to engage with our chapter, what's made it a little harder, which we definitely want to hear from you about those topics too. Um, because if it's been tough to engage with us, we want to know how we can make it better. So, keep adding your responses. We're about 50%, almost at 50%. So we'd also like to know how often you want to hear from us. I think some folks get too many emails, so they only want one email a month, but others maybe want a shorter email mid-month that has one action, one and a couple of events that are coming up. There's also sometimes a situation where we hear about an event after we've sent our newsletter, so we may find it useful to send um, another email mid-month. Yeah, right. I'm gonna give folks 2 more minutes to add their answers. And thanks so much to all of you who've already submitted yours. Really appreciate it. And we'll also have more opportunities coming up for you to let us know what you want to see for the chapter going forward. All right, I think I'm gonna end it. Thanks, everyone. Oh, okay. Anyway, maybe I'll give 3 more seconds. I just got 2 more people, so maybe there's anybody else wants to their last answer before I close the poll. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, amazing. Thanks. Alrighty. And did the poll disappear for everyone?
I still see it, Jen, and there's a button here that says share results. Should I
I still
push
see
that
it too.
button?
Paolo, do you still see it too?
Yeah, should I press share results too?
Sure.
Failed to share poll, another poll has started or shared.
Okay.
Hmm.
I think. Sorry, guys.
So it's, yeah, I
Oh,
think everyone can see it now.
can everyone see it? Yeah, okay, perfect.
Okay. Mhm.
It may have gone again because I think we're all pushing on it. So no one push on the blue button. I'm going to push just me. And then I think,
Okay.
there we go. Now everyone can see it. Technology.
I hope to see these 10 people volunteering next year.
That's super. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oops, it disappeared. I guess it just disappears over time.
Yeah, I'm trying to end it. So don't click anything. I'm trying to make it go away for everyone. Okay. Is it gone? Jeez. All right. So, um, so yeah, if any other ideas come to you over the coming weeks, you can let us know by filling out this other form we have, with our ideas, um, with your ideas. So I'm putting the link to that in the chat. Because as we said, everything we do is crowdsourced because we're a volunteer-run chapter. And if you want to help us organize a chapter meeting or join the leadership team or start a new working group or share your electrification story, or help us engage new members or work on our social media, we're actively looking for folks to help us with all these things. And if you are interested in stepping up, please let us know. And you can always find that form on our link tree, which is a great thing to bookmark. I'm just going to mention that again really quick. So one of the ways that you can always stay up to date with our chapter is by bookmarking the link tree on your computer. And you can find all the links to our social media accounts, as well as links to upcoming events and actions that we're doing. We try to keep it updated pretty regularly, so it's one way you can always find us. Um, and that we all take action together really quick right now. Um, one of the things that we've worked on in the advocacy team is the New York Heat Act, excuse me, which many of you have probably heard about. And if you haven't, it is a bill that one of our coalition partners, Renewable Heat Now, has been working on for a number of years that will, oh, thanks. Thanks for joining, Rebecca. I appreciate you. So where was I? Renewable Heat Now has been working on this bill, the New York Heat Act, for a number of years. And in June, the first pillar of the New York Heat Act was passed by the Senate and the Assembly, the state legislature. And this first pillar would, um, excuse me, eliminate an unnecessary subsidy that we're all paying for new gas hookups. So this bill is one way that we can reduce gas demand. Gas is a fossil fuel, and reduce fossil fuel use in the long term. And we are trying to get Governor Hochul to sign it in the next 3 days. So um, if you could all click on the link tree um, and then navigate to this petition to send an email to the governor. We're going to all do it together. And I've already done that. So I'm actually going to make a quick phone call to Governor Hochul if her line is working. Earlier, it was not. And if you want to call Governor Hochul, I'm going to drop her phone number in the chat. Let's see.
Okay. Jen, oh, you're calling. She's on the, when Jen's done, calling, does anyone need help with this link tree and how to fill out the form? So if you just push that last link that's in there, link is called Linktree Climate Reality NYC. You can go down and it's the third or fourth item there, the third item. And you just click on that. It takes like two clicks of the button to send the note. But you know what would be great now is maybe to open up the communication and just see if people have questions and uh, comments or questions about anything that we presented, about any of the three or four organization or working groups that we just talked about. That would be super, just to get a conversation going.
Mhm.
So, does anyone have a there's Nina Gray. Thank you, Nina. What's your question and how are you doing?
We need to unmute Nina.
Oh yeah, we need to unmute every.
I just asked
I
him.
think it's a setting that we have somehow.
Hmm.
Oh, there we go. I think Nina's
Mute.
unmuted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. You want us to contact Kathy Hochul, but from the link tree, I wasn't sure if it's that 100-foot repeal.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I didn't know what to click on. Okay, thank you. I think I can manage that then.
Super. Nina, by the way, is one of our consistent members of the advocacy team from Brooklyn, and she just moved up from, I think, South Carolina, to
Yeah,
Brooklyn. Yeah.
yeah.
So thank you, Nina, for all that you do.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Thanks.
Okay, here I am now going back to the
Okay. I see
the
Carmen
link
has her
tree.
Carmen
hand
and
raised,
Victoria.
right?
Yeah.
How to
Yes.
get to the chats.
So there's a section that says compose message. And then there's already a message up top. Does it mean that we should copy and paste the same text into the compose message, or we could just send it as is and basically saying that's our message?
So Jen, I think you can answer that one.
I think you just hit send as is. You don't have to add anything if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Super. Thanks for that
For your
question,
action,
Carmen.
Carmen.
Victoria. Victoria, who is also, just let me throw this out there. She's like uh, Queens, Beyond Plastics Queens representative. So she's got her feet in both camps, all camps.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Okay. So
Very fun.
I've talked to Deepa about this before. I electrified my private home in Astoria this summer, and my Con Ed bill has gone down enormously. Now, when I last saw Deepa at the press conference outside of Con Edison in Astoria, apparently Con Edison wants to get rid of the gas lines. So I have a one sheet that features my story with Con Edison, which they're using to, advertise. I mean, I got three new appliances in my house for free and all the electrical work done. Now, I don't know how Brooklyn works, but, I think Astoria and Queens is a lot of Con Edison. So anyway, I filled out that story thing in your link tree. So
Super.
and you, Paul, you and Deepa know you can always reach out to me for more information about this, because Con Edison will come and do this if you haven't changed your gas line.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
I think that's called the non-pipes. Like it's where the building doesn't use gas heating. It only
Yeah.
has gas cooking and gas like dryers and things like that.
Yeah.
And then the lines going to your building are past a certain age. So the gas lines in the
That's
ground.
right.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And for
It's called
those,
the energy exchange, or
right.
that's what they called it for me.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And so that's a great program. It's not widely available. It's available to, like a subset of properties that fit those
Yeah.
criteria. But when it
Right.
is there, it's huge. And by the way, this is the kind of thing that if New York Heat ever gets passed, we could do
Yeah.
a heck of a lot more of that to get rid of
Yeah.
all of it, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah,
Um,
we would love to, if you're okay with it, we
yeah.
would love to highlight your story in a
Yeah.
newsletter to get the word out.
Yes. Just one of you reach out to me and we'll,
Okay,
organize that. I'm so happy to do that.
Great
super.
testimony and proactivity.
By the way, proactivity is demonstrated by the fact that she has a balcony solar, one of
Yes.
the first in the country or the city,
Yeah. Well, in the
and
city.
yeah, and was featured in the New York Times for it.
Yep.
Woohoo!
That's the kind of
How did you
people we
get it?
roll with, right?
Because I've been following Bright Savers since their inception. And so
Super.
because I always went to their webinars and I was so interested in them, they said, oh, and I was one of the first few people that ordered their solar panel. And then they said, oh, would you be interested? Would you talk to the New York Times about this? And I said, absolutely. I'm happy to do whatever, so that's how that happened.
That's just super. And so
Yeah.
there's a bill called the Sunny Act.
Yes, I know. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
to
It's
legalize that. Yeah.
exciting. Yeah, that's tremendous.
Yeah.
That's really, really exciting.
It really is. And I see Joyce has joined us, Joyce Freeling. And it's great to see you, Joyce. You're at the very end of our meeting. We're just winding down.
I know I had a call come in that I had to take.
But
So,
thank you so much for coming, Joyce. And we recorded this, so we'll send it out to you afterwards if you
oh,
want to.
wonderful. Thank
Yeah,
you.
certainly. Okay. Any more questions or comments?
Well,
Yes, one.
Oh,
Go
yes,
ahead.
Emma.
You go first, Emma.
well, I just want to say how interested I am in this balcony solar, and I've been reading a lot about it, though I missed your story in the New York Times. I want to start working on that. How can I help?
So Victoria, maybe you could talk. I know that there's one thing I can talk about is that there's a bill that's been introduced called the Sunny Act, which makes what Victoria did legal. Not to say that
Yep.
what she did was illegal, but it was like a prototype
Yeah.
type thing.
Okay.
So actually, strangely enough, Utah was the first state in the country to do it, make it
Okay.
legal.
Yeah.
And so now there's this bill. So if you're interested, we can take that up in the advocacy group, or you could just support the Sunny Act
Okay.
in general. But yeah, that's one way. And Victoria, do you have any other insights?
Um, Not really. I mean, what happened is when they were first selling it, they sold they sold out in like a week, whatever. I mean, thank God I was like so quick to jump on it. Um, um, the solar panel that I have, I want you to understand, doesn't give me that much, energy. I mean, they've got to expand this to, so that we can get batteries to store it. This has got a ways to go. But yeah, I mean, I jumped on that. Oh, there's the solar balcony solar article. Um, yeah, yeah, I don't really have anything much to add on that. You
Okay.
know, but we're going to get there. I mean, that is definitely
Yeah.
coming, really coming.
Yeah. So
Right.
let's stay in touch, Emma. If you want to join us in the advocacy team to help support that, that would be great.
Okay.
Yeah, or if you just stay in contact. And I put the bill in the chat as well. And you know
Yeah.
what? I wanted just to ask Jimmy Booth if he's still on the call to just share a little bit about the climate change makers meeting we attended, both of us actually attended last night. And maybe just talk a little bit about how that like differs and how that's like such a unique kind of experience for folks. That might be interesting and I'm sorry if I'm calling you out like in the at a bad time.
No, it's all good. I was long day, so I was kind of laying low. But no, happy to speak. Yeah, it was a great meeting. I think yeah, Rebecca just really I don't know, just like introduces so many like cool resources, and like I think all of like the I know you mentioned it before, but just like yeah, the resources like that come down from, she had mentioned like four people. And Bianca, maybe you can confirm that, like who work at like the main space. Um, it just, yeah, it's like super organized, like action items and like workbooks for you to kind of just like, hit this target, and like make some impact. I also just really like the um, focus on action, and like kind of coming together communally, and taking some actions. I'm also, food waste is one of my favorite climate solutions, so I was really happy to see that's a focal point too. I think that's like a win-win-win situation. But yeah, overall, I thought it was great. I'm really excited about our partnership, and definitely would love to continue to act as like a liaison between two groups.
Super. And Bianca, you're I think you're able to unmute yourself if you want to add anything.
Yes, hi. I don't have a huge amount to add. I was saying sorry I missed you guys last night. I was both sick and studying for a final exam, but
Oh,
that's now over. So I don't think I failed. And I was just gonna say, feel free to email me also if you have any questions or if you want to brainstorm collaboration. We're gonna be doing some more planning for next year, like over the holiday quiet period. So it's a good time to figure things out. And yeah, thank you
super.
guys so much for coming. Sorry that I couldn't meet you in person.
Yeah, I mean, I loved it also because, like, if you wanted to, I suppose you could have gotten some food or something to drink there too in that space. So it's super. It's right next to the City Winery and Little Island in Pier 57. So, okay. I don't see any more hands, and we're getting close to the witching hour.
I
So,
was going to raise my hand, but I
oh,
tried it 3 times. But
sorry, Nina, please. Yes, sorry.
just I mentioned that transportation, I didn't get into the survey, but I mentioned that a challenge for me is transportation. And I was hoping there might be some folks in Brooklyn who are part of our chapter who might be able to help with that.
We
for
can look.
for going to certain events, that are in-person events.
Yeah, I think we can look into that. I know that the city has that transportation service, what is that called?
The Accessoride?
Yeah, the Access-a-Ride.
Oh,
But I
if you
remember.
knew the hassle with the accessoride, you wouldn't be recommending it.
Oh yeah. But yeah, there's some.
I used it to go to doctors, but they're often late. They
Yeah,
show up late, or they pick you up late. I mean, it's crazy.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we could try to crowdsource that because it's for people who live nearby, because there's actually quite a few members who live in your area.
yeah,
So we'll look into that.
that would be good. It's great. That was my only other question. And I have to leave because I just got a call that is really urgent that I take. So,
Okay. Well, take care,
yeah.
Nina.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks for
Bye.
joining, and thanks to
Okay.
everybody for joining tonight. We're right at our witching hour. I don't know why I'm calling it the witching hour, but it's close to 8 o'clock, and we're getting close. We're in the middle of some holidays. If you celebrate Hanukkah, we're about to celebrate other holidays. So whatever you celebrate, enjoy it. Enjoy friends and family, and recharge. And please wash your hands, as Paula reminds us. And and we'll see you in the new year.
Bye,
Okay.
Thank
everybody.
you everyone for
Bye,
joining us.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Happy
Bye.
holidays.
Bye.
Stay safe.